Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the show, Rise and Thrive with KK Smith, where we exist to disrupt the effects of generational instability in our community from the inside out. And today, y'all, I have such a special guest in the studio. Oh my goodness, y'all know who this is? This is the man, the myth, the legend. This is my daddy. And he is all the way here. We got a lot going on in the studio. Thank you, thank you. So he is here all the way from the 305 from Miami for the event Daddy Me and Coffee, which is going on tomorrow at President Barack Obama Library in St. Petersburg, Florida. It's from 1 to 4. And we started this all for my dad. Now, Wanda's Wish originally was started by my mom, but Daddy, Me, and Coffee was started in honor of our dad, the struggles that he had. My dad has dyslexia. He fought through a lot of things, a lot of childhood things in order to be successful and in order to be an educator for over 40 years. He not only was an educator, but he really went in the trenches with the kids. We saw him talking to kids on the street. We saw him making a difference in their lives. We saw him in so many at-risk children. He worked hand in hand with the children, right? He created programs. He created after-school programs. He created programs at Florida A&M University. It's so much to say about my dad, but long ado, long awaited, the legend is gonna speak. So, Dad, I want you to tell the people a little bit about yourself and your journey from having a dream to facing a learning disability to having that dream manifest.
My dream was based upon I got to give all credit what I have achieved to Mr. Hernandez at Gibbs High School. He took interest in me, and he gave his weekend, he gave up his lunch hour to try to teach me to read. It did not work because at that particular time, no one knew what dyslexia was. Dyslexia was a very vicious thing in my life. It took my military career and took part of my teaching career, but it never took my will to succeed. And I told God I want to go to college. Had no idea what doors he was going to open. I went from working to support my children in a job I could find, Saturday, what it was, to going to Florida University, where I built a program that would work with kids with learning problems. But that's a part of me today. I want to talk more about the black men of today and what trouble I had went through when I was with my children. I didn't know my father. My father was not there for me. It was my mother, the nuns at Immaculate Conception. All those people put part of my life who kept me from turning and going the wrong way. So I'm asking today, we talk mostly about the communication of the black man in the home. And that's what we're talking about tomorrow. The black man and unification. In the role, they need the mother, they need the father, they need the community. But most of all, they need to come home every day and see that father there for them. But we're going to talk about rearranging that. Change new ideas. Think about how we get more unification back into the black family.
Amen.
And I will cut down on. During my time teaching at Miami-Dade, I lost 250 kids who didn't have fathers and never lived to see their classroom graduation, never lived to see their class graduate from high school. It's just I'm old enough, I want to go back and do it. I made mistakes. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm saying I'll go back and relook, re-identify, and decide we do a little more what we call cause and effect. We know that cause, mother and father get along. Effect, the child got caught. The child paid the price for it.
So thank you so much, Dad. So one thing I want to tell everyone about my dad that I really appreciate, and I think it really resonated through generations, is his creativity to really see a problem and really not only talk about the problem but move into action. I have a story about my dad when Hurricane Andrew came to Miami, and I had just had my son. My son will be 35 next week. So this was 35 years ago. And my son and I were laying down. It was the hurricane was horrible. And I turned on the TV, and who do I see on the back of a rescue truck? It was my dad. He was moving, he was in action, he was helping victims in Hurricane Andrew who had tore up South Miami. So he's not only a man of talk, but he's a man of action. So, Dad, can you talk a little bit about how hard or difficult was it to have three little girls And my daddy had custody of me since I was a hand baby. I think my sister was, one of them was 1 and one of them was 2.
Tabitha was 2, Lisa was 1, and you were 5 months.
And I was a baby. So my dad, he had a heavy load, 3 girls, right? And I watched individuals for whatever reason give up with far less. So can you encourage somebody if they are picking up something heavy? Can you encourage a father who might be raising children, who might be struggling right now, to let him know that it's okay? There are resources out there that can help you. And let me say this, you will really glean from a lot of these resources tomorrow. And this is why we built this program based on the legend right here, my dad, because we saw him take advantage of those programs. And you'll learn the big program tomorrow that really helped him in school. It helped him with housing, and it helped him with a lot of medical services. But he'll reveal that to you tomorrow at the event. But how difficult was it to have 3 little girls? We weren't even boys. I can see it, we were boys, but we were girls. He was raising little girls, doing our hair, making sure our lotion, making sure, y'all, we did not leave with no wrinkled clothes, okay? We making sure our clothes were ironed, making sure we had food. Dad, I love you. I thank you so much. I appreciate you. How hard was that to execute?
How hard it was. I was determined to give them a better place. And a better place means I had to move from St. Petersburg, where no one knew me. I went down to Miami to went to Regional Blind Service because they thought I had trouble with my eyes. They gave me assistance. They gave me a shot at Miami-Dade. Margot Cavell was my first teacher. My first class, write down what you want to be 5 years from now. I tried my best to write it down, but she couldn't read it. But we had an oral conversation. My whole education was built on the premise that oral education is just as good as written education. And that's how I got through Miami-Dade. I finished Miami-Dade. I went to FAMU, undergrad school and grad school on the same premise. I can't read it, but read it to me, I got it.
Amen. So let me say this. I like what you said. A lot of learning styles, and I learned this as I got older, we have different learning styles. So a lot of times, I was born in the 70s. We have so many different learning styles now. There's visual, there's audio, there is global kinetic, where you have to touch, where you have to feel. There's audible and oral. And a lot of times with learning disabilities that went undiagnosed, kids were taught to learn one way. They were taught to learn, do it this way or you're not smart. Do this or you're not smart. As we know, there are so many creatives, right? There are so many creatives that make far more than someone who went to college. But college is a cornerstone, is a foundation of learning. College, it opens the doors to so many different things. So back then, Dad, when you left one job in Miami to pursue your college education at FAMU, what type of doors did a college education open for you in the 70s?
Back in the 70s, I went to FAMU and I was winging. The FAMU did not have a program designed to work with kids with learning problems when I got there. When I left from Miami-Dade and carried with me, a lot of my classmates also went to FAMU. So they started reading to me. And then according to 504 came out, they had to come back and really look at the way they handled people with learning problems. In 75, they split dyslexia from retardation. You cannot tell a person with IQ of over 200 they're retarded. So now they come up, we got to stop this and make accommodations. And through the accommodations, they were able to break down some door barriers, allow not only myself, but others to walk through.
That is so good. And I can remember my dad mentions a lot of struggles externally and maybe some internally. But what we saw is a hero. We saw our dad. Did I tell y'all that he even played football in college? And I remember him coming home all muddy and dirty and us getting ready for the games and our devil belts and our jeans and our FAMU shirts. We would be so excited. We had fish on Friday. We had spaghetti on Wednesday. Just all the things.
And
we
did the Duff.
Duffs. So many experiences, restaurants of different origins, different ethnic backgrounds. We did not know that my dad even had a learning disability. We did not even know that my dad had a struggle. So this says so much to me about fatherhood. So many times frustrations are taken out on children. And so many times you have the ability to stay centered and take care of what's in front of you. So I want to end, and we're going to continue tomorrow, but I want you to give some males some tips who might be struggling with internal frustrations because their dream is not coming true, because they don't have the internal resilience to make that dream move. And against all odds, you did it. So, what are some tips that you would tell a male right now who's struggling with internal, not only the external, but the internal?
Do not go in your bedroom, take a long look at your children, compare what you're going through, what your children go through, and say it's not going to happen to them, and look for resources. The biggest thing is don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed to say, I need help. When I changed that, I went to Miss Hernandez one day to Miss Hernandez. I like this book. It was The Count of Monte Cristo. And I can still read that book today orally through my mind because of what he's playing in my head. Don't be ashamed of it. The biggest part of being a man is not being ashamed. Woo! If you're going to be ashamed, then you have already lost the game. You got to go try. I locked on a lot of doors. A lot of people. I got 11 restaurants. Because again, you got to go. Don't give up on yourself. Whatever God you believe in, have a long talk with him. But then you got to make that first step. Because God, people open doors for you, but you got to walk through them. Don't be afraid of it. I know if you don't have a high school diploma, I know ways to help you get one. Bring all these things together. Decide it to yourself. It's going to mean you got to have a conversation with yourself, not your mama, not your cousin. You can have a conversation with the person you believe in above and yourself. And remember, if God opened that door, you make sure you got your book standing in the middle of it. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, Dad. And the one thing that I want to tell you all, and this should have been the first thing, my dad established loving God and making God the number one person in our lives. I can remember as a little girl, us with our rosary beads. Dad is Catholic, so I was raised in Catholic. When I came back here to St. Pete about 4 years, we were holiness. Then when I grew up, I was Baptist, a lot of religions, but I started with Catholic religion, and my dad is faithful in his prayer. He's faithful in his prayer life. Even at his age, he is faithful to God. And I want y'all to hear that. And I should have said that first. That should have been first. God is first. It is nobody but God that manifested all of his dreams and all of his hopes. And another thing he's going to quickly tell you about, that he was also able to develop a barbecue business from his dreams as well. He's always been a great cook, a great chef, cooking for us, cooking for crowds of people. So tell people a little bit about your business and what's the name of it and how you revamped it.
It's called Brother Frazier's Gourmet Barbecue. I got into business to take my Boy Scout troop when I was teaching on trips in overtime. I spent most of my career working in inner city schools. The kids during spring break had nowhere to go. So I gave an idea, well, let's go see what the country looked like. And that's where Brother Frazier was born. Brother Frazier was born in Miami at Douglas Elementary School in Troop 307, I believe it was. In my Boy Scout troop. Taking young men and showing better life. Right now, it has blossomed, be going back. We should be reopening hopefully next 2 or 3 months. You got to come to Miami, try us out.
All right. And so I was inspired by my dad as well. I've been in business so long. And the beauty of business is one of our programs, developing a business from the inside out, learning things that you might miss along the way when just up and starting a business. And my dad has been so much of my inspiration. And Dad, I just want to thank you so much for coming on. It's Juneteenth. We are having it at the President Barack Obama Library, which has his museum open. President Barack Obama, thank you for your sacrifices. Thank you for everything. And Dad, what do you want to tell the people about tomorrow, and who do you want to see in the room tomorrow?
First of all, I want to talk about my friend Thaddeus Stallings. Some of y'all don't like to remember me, but you remember Thad. Thad and I was the two. And Thad was the guy in the middle at Gibbs High School in the game. Other part about it, that was me. If you go back and look at your record book, you'll see no one got through that. So that's how some of you will recognize me with Thad. We held that line down for them. Come and talk to me. Let's have a talk together. Now we're going to look at who's right, who's wrong, and dealing with our young children and what we need to have with our parents and the father. Let's just have a conversation. How can one person start going down the line to change things?
Amen. And Dad, I want to also tell you that he is a speaker caregiver. He is a program developer. So if you want to get in touch with him, he has also his business page, and we're going to link that. Get in touch with me. But this is all a part of the Rise and Thrive Foundation, where we exist to disrupt the effects of generational instability in our community from the inside out. And this has been Rise and Thrive with KK Smith and my daddy from the 305. Thank you for coming, Dad. I love you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Join us tomorrow, 1 to 4 at the Barack Obama Library in St. Petersburg, Florida. We have so many amazing things in store for you. And like I said, resources, education, some phenomenal speakers. And we will see you next time. Thank you for joining us.